People still ask me how I managed to pass the NCLEX exam as an international nurse, and in this video I'm going to share with you how I managed to do that, because this is really very important, especially after seeing a report by the NCSBN, that is the National Council for State Boards of Nursing in the United States, the statistics of people who pass NCLEX. And according to that report, approximately about 80-something% of US trained nurses passed the NCLEX between January and June, and for international nurses it's approximately 40-something%. And this statistics is similar to the statistics they showed us, that is the agency that I used to move to the United States showed us when I registered with them. They said that international nurses, like less than half of people that trained outside the United States, they passed the NCLEX, especially in their first trial and even their second trial too. These statistics has remained below 50. So I feel like sharing my experience, because maybe you are planning to write your own NCLEX, maybe you're not feeling motivated, or you're feeling like you may not pass this exam, or you are scared because of all these statistics and what you see online. So I believe that at the end of this video, you may pick out something that will help you in your preparation or the motivation to continue studying, and the reason why it is still very good for you to pass the NCLEX in 2023 or 2024, no matter what your plan is. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump right into it. If this is the first time you're meeting this beautiful face, my name is Lynda. I'm a registered nurse and I currently live and work in the United States. Here on this channel, I share information on how you can work, study, and thrive abroad. So if these are the kind of content that you actually like, please like, subscribe, and always show up on this channel, because I believe you get a ton of value. Okay, so let's continue. So a little bit of background, or the kind of situation I was in when I was preparing for my NCLEX exam, and what actually made me to pass the NCLEX-RN exam. I was still working in the United Kingdom, and the reason why I decided to move to practice in the United Kingdom as a nurse is to gain apart from the skill and the opportunity to work internationally, I also had in mind to write my NCLEX-RN exam, and that's why I decided to work in London. So in London, there is a center for NCLEX. So when I moved to London and I stayed for a few months, I decided to start looking for a way to prepare for NCLEX, and also the agency, or however route I decide to use. But I eventually decided to use an agency. So I googled about, I researched different agencies. I selected one agency and found out that they also have an open house, that they have a recruitment program that will be going on in London. So I went there physically, and during that program I had the opportunity to ask questions. I also met people that already passed the NCLEX or already attempted the NCLEX and they did not pass in their first try. So during this program, the agency explained everything about the NCLEX. Now we know we have the next generation NCLEX-RN exam that you can actually get off the exam writing about 80 questions or attempting about 80 questions to 150 questions. And even the statistics I talked about at the beginning of this video seem to even be better off. Like, looks like people are passing the next generation NCLEX exam more than the previous one. So they talked about the NCLEX, gave us all the statistics, and it was a little bit scary because I also met people that already failed this exam. Okay, and when you search online, you see a lot of people saying that they passed in their 5th try, 3rd try, 2nd try. So that actually got me thinking, is it to continue staying in the UK or to just write this NCLEX exam? But one thing I told myself is, I'm still new in the UK, right? UK might end up being the perfect place for me, but I'm going to study this NCLEX because it will also help me to learn more. You know, I want to be able to be studying the NCLEX, and as I'm practicing in the UK, it will also help me with my skills and everything. So I enrolled, signed the contract with this agency, and they have the NCLEX review program. So I joined the NCLEX review program. Man, it was very tough because I was working full time. At this time as well, I was planning to also have another baby. So I wasn't pregnant already when I was deciding to enroll with this agency. Also, I started a new job. I'm in a new environment, looking for accommodation and all of that in the UK. So I had a lot of things going on, but I still enrolled. I was studying on my own pace. But of course, as I mentioned, it wasn't really very smooth. So I ended up not continuing the review program with this particular agency. So what I did was, because it was so, they required me to like complete certain things. I was following their own study plan, and it didn't suit my lifestyle. And they will be the one to also tell you when you're ready to write the NCLEX. So when they were telling me that I was ready, I knew in my heart then I was already pregnant. So, and I knew in my heart that like it wasn't like the beginning of my pregnancy wasn't like, you know, the smoothest. And then that was the time they were saying, oh, you're ready for this NCLEX exam. In my mind, I knew that I don't think so. Yeah, so I eventually had to stop their review program, said I want to do this on my own. They even said that if I don't pass the NCLEX, they gave me 3 months to pass the NCLEX, that if I don't pass the NCLEX, they are going to terminate my contract and I'm going to pay them back everything that they have spent. So what it means that if I don't continue with them, I have to pay them for their review program. So that is the first thing I will have to say, that the review program actually gave me the background, right? It helped me to study Saunders. So we are using Saunders in this phase. So Saunders plus their online course. So the Saunders textbooks, the textbook that you know, the Saunders nursing textbook that you know, it has questions and answers. It also has an online resource. So with that pin that you have with your textbook, you can access the online platform. So that is what I use. That's what they use. So, and that helped to give me the background. I remember I was also combining it, like when I go to work and I see patients cases, like in my mind I'm going through all those Saunders, like I'm trying to merge theory and practice so that I'll be able to, because for NCLEX, the ultimate thing about NCLEX is that they want you to be able to apply whatever you know in a real-time situation. So I used that. So that gave me a good background. Even when I left, even though I didn't finish everything when I left, but it gave me a good background. So the 3 months on my own to study, this is what I did. So when I just have 3 months to practice, right? I have 3 months to pass this exam. So what happened was that I had a very strong study plan on my own, like it was like a challenge. And at this point, you know, I was already thinking, should I still write this exam? So one thing I told myself was, even if I end up not going to the United States, I want to be able to pass this exam, so it will help me to make that decision. So some people, if you're watching this video and maybe you are in the UK or whichever country you are from, and you're like, maybe you are part of the people that are saying, okay, US, I like the US, but the process, you look at the process is long and everything, and some people that are comparing the US and the UK, US and Canada and all of that, before you can even start that comparison, I suggest you write this exam, have it in your hand and say, okay, I have the NCLEX, but I don't want to go to the US anymore. So that is what I told myself. I want to be able to pass the NCLEX-RN exam, and then I have that confidence to say, even though I have passed this exam, I have the opportunity to go to the US. I'm choosing the UK. Okay, that's what I told myself, because then I was already contemplating, oh, since I'm already in the UK, I'm already spending these years, okay, maybe I should just stay in the UK and get their permanent residency or something like that. But on the other hand, I said, you can't say you prefer the UK. That's another reason why you may, even when you don't like UK anymore and you decide to go to the United States, it's going to take longer, because then you start preparing for NCLEX again and you check that you don't have the result and all of that. You may end up staying in the UK even if that's not your choice. So I said, okay, I'm going to write this exam. Okay, I'm going to write this exam, pass it, so I have that, I have that confidence to say, okay, I have the NCLEX-RN exam, I have passed the NCLEX-RN exam, and I am in the UK, but I choose to stay in the UK, so it will be like a more balanced decision. So I'm not deciding based on the fact that I have not passed the NCLEX, because some people will not say, okay, let me stay in the UK, or even argue that UK is now better because they have checked that it's long for them to, like, they've not passed the NCLEX, they've checked all the process, and they know they may not be able to go through all of that, and then they are choosing the UK, or they are choosing their country, So I decided to write it so I can make that decision better. So, and I decided to have that 3 months. So what I did in the 3 months was like go through everything that I've known, try to go to the areas that I find very hard. If it is pharmacology, if it is the SATA question, that's speaking, the multiple choice, all those areas that I found that they are my weak points, I decided. And also let's say is the electrolytes, and all of that, lab values, those areas that I feel that I am weak, or the EKGs. So I will go and read them up in Saunders. So all those my weak areas, I read them up. All those SATA questions, like multiple select all that apply question, I try to practice them. So, and all those cases, all those pathophysiologies, all those diseases that I find it very, like, whenever it comes out of the question, I struggle with them, I go and read them up in Saunders. So after that, the next thing that I did was to go for a review program. So I would say that if Saunders, like in the beginning part of the preparation, is where many people find it hard. Like Saunders is very big, going through all of that is big. I remember, like I mentioned, how this agency, they want me to go through all of that, and my busy schedule, it was like overwhelming. So what you can do at this point is to find a lot of study programs online these days, especially the popular study.com. I will leave the link in the description. Study.com, they have a very good study plan that covers all the areas in the next generation NCLEX-RN exam. So it has a very good study plan. So if you don't want to go through Saunders, their study plan will be very, very perfect for you. So many study plans are found online. That study.com, I didn't use it at that time, but if I'm studying NCLEX today, I will use them because they have a very good study plan that if you follow, you can even get ready within 2 to 3 months. So go through their study plan. It covers all the areas in the next generation NCLEX. And then they also have all the questions as well that looks like, that mimics what we have in the next generation NCLEX exam. Okay, so if you go through their study plan, it will give you a very good basis. You may not even need a review program, because that's the next thing I did. I looked for a good review program. I looked online, looked on Facebook groups. I looked on videos like this about people that passed and what made them to pass. So many of them were recommending the Klimek audios. So I downloaded all the Klimek audios. He also has a YouTube channel right now. And I listened to all the review program. I listened to all of them from beginning to the end. Remember, at this time, I was still full-time. I was pregnant at this time. And in fact, I was working under a very narrow timeline, because I have to pass within 3 months. I'm pregnant still. I actually want to pass my NCLEX exam before I give birth. And then all this actually made me to hone in, to focus, to make sure that I pass within that time frame. So when I'm going to work in the train, I am listening to Klimek audios. When I can't listen, I am going through questions like I find online. So after listening to all the Klimek audios, I'll listen again whenever I have time. I'll go back to all those other ones that I'm struggling with. And then after that, like when I have a month plus towards the exam, I paid for UWorld. So That's the next thing I want to say. If you think that sometimes paying for something, paying for a course, paying for a review program, something like that, it makes you to also be on your toes, like, I've spent this money, I need to pass this exam. So even though there are free resources everywhere, investing in it gives you that you don't want to waste your money, right? So once you invest in something, once you invest in a review program, assuming you want to go through this study.com, because that's what I'm recommending in this video, you go through the study.com, and because it gives you all the basics. And if you decide to enroll in UWorld, I feel like study.com even has it all right now, but if you still want to go through UWorld, you can still go through UWorld if you prefer. But study.com has what to give you the basics, and it also has the questions as well. So find something that works for you. For me, it's having that basis and also having a review program. So when I've covered my basis, I use the review program, which was my Klimek audios, and then I focused on the question types that mimics the NCLEX exam, and that was UWorld for me. Also, I used that UWorld, and then I was making sure that when I fail any particular question, I'm reading the rationale. I'll go back and read the rationale again. Make sure that whenever I see that kind of question again, because sometimes the question will come in a different way, but when I have already read the rationale and that type of question comes, I already know what they are talking about, what they are expecting, what the answer will look like, and that is what I did. So that review program helped me. The fact that I also have spent money on it actually made me to say, you know what, I'm going to pass this exam. And then I read through, I was reading through the rationales on UWorld. I read it again. I was also, whenever I don't have time to answer questions, I will listen to the math, because I feel like what I had, the math Klimek audio, is all the review program from the beginning till the end. It covers the mental health, it covers pharmacology, it covers all the apply questions, it covers all the priority questions, right? It covers everything. So, and it helped me like decision making. So when you're going through all of this, you're not really looking at what if the question repeats. You are looking at the skill that you're learning, like your ability to prioritize, your ability to answer those questions properly, and what the NCLEX exam actually is demanding from you. There is no way you'll not pass this exam if you're focused. So one thing, and why I decided to make this video again, is that somebody that has written this exam a few times, or studied in the United States, is not even an international nurse, approached me and said, can you coach me through the NCLEX exam? Okay, I said, okay, what do you have? And then she was telling me about all the review programs that she has attended already, that she has attempted this exam twice, but she feels like she's not understanding it, that there must be something she's missing. And I said, okay, what did you do? She has like different textbooks that she's using to prepare. She has so many review programs already that she said they are very good. She mentioned so many review programs that I've never even heard of, because people in the US, they have all the resources. They have people helping them to get ready. It's just like your home country, right? People helping you to get ready for your board exam. So, but for us international nurses, we may have limited resources based on how the US works, right? So she mentioned everything. I was like, your problem is not even the NCLEX itself, is that you don't have like a definite plan. So in my next video, I'm going to be sharing with you all the resources and how you can actually use them. If you want me to make that video, let me know in the comment section. You know how you can, if you're deciding to use study.com, how you can make it work for you. If you're using the UWorld, if you're using any review program. So she wasn't focused. She was all over the place. She will read this one. She will go on YouTube and hear somebody say this one again. And then she will jump onto that one. And then she will hear that somebody used this and passed, and she will jump onto that one. So the takeaway for this video is, you know yourself, you know your situation. You're already a nurse if you're an international nurse. This exam is like, what you just need to know is to understand how that exam works. But they also want you to have that, your nursing knowledge at the back of your mind when you are making a decision in real world. And in that exam, they are going to make it look like it's also a real world. What are you going to do in this situation? And or for their select all that apply question, that means you have the knowledge. They want you to have the knowledge, because if you don't know it, you may not be able to pass that select all that apply questions, okay? But you all this, you need to focus. You need to find something that works for you. In my own, it was to find a study plan that actually works, that will give me the basis, have a review program, and also be able, all those things that I've learned, I'll be able to answer questions. And that was the UWorld for me. So today you have a lot of resources. Like I mentioned, study.com, if you use the link I'm going to leave in the description, you also get a discount up to 35%, and they also allow you to use it for 1 month risk-free. So if you don't like it, you can cancel or something. So make sure you use those resources. If Saunders is overwhelmed, use study.com, try it, find if that study plan will work for you. But ultimately, find something that works for you and make it simple. Make it simple. It can be a local review program that you want. It can be the review program that I'm in. All those things. But be focused on one. Be focused and use the study plan. They are, at the end of the day, the end point is for you to pass the NCLEX-RN exam and become a USRN. I am a proud USRN. I am happy, as you can see, getting ready for work, and I'm excited about my job. I'm excited about this place. I am happy. I am happy that I eventually wrote that exam, and it gave me the power to make the decision to move to the US.